All right, so now we are ready to get rid of some of this boilerplate and jump into React Hooks testing library, which is part of the testing library family. So that setup function that we wrote, very similar to the render hook function from React Hooks testing library. So let's swap those two things. So instead of importing React testing library, we're going to import React Hooks testing library. And this is going to give us a render hook in addition to this act function. And now instead of this setup, we're actually going to be calling render hook. And render hook is going to take the hook that we want to render, so use counter, and then it will return an object that has a result. So we'll destructure that. And now if we save that, our first test is passing. So let's get the other ones all up and passing. Looks like we don't need React in here anymore, which is kind of wild. But then down here, we'll say render hook. We'll pass use counter. And it just so happens that the API right here is exactly the same. What foresight? So then we'll destructure that result, and then we'll do the same thing here. Render hook, pass the use counter hook. Here's our initial props, and then destructure the result off of that return value. And then we can actually take it a step further, and we'll add a test for the step can be changed. And here, I'm going to copy most of this stuff. So we'll initialize that step to 3. And then we'll increment it, get it up to 3. And then I want to re-render it and change that value of that step. So I'm going to grab the re-render function. That's part of the utilities we get back from render hook. I'll call re-render with my new props. So we had initial props of step 3. Now I have new props that I want to pass to it, and that is step of 2. And now when we decrement, it should decrement by 2, which will leave us with 1. Sweet. So the render hook utility from testing library React Hooks allows us to avoid some boilerplate and gives us a nice API for updating the arguments that we pass to our custom hook. In review, what we had to do was remove that setup function that we'd created and replace it with render hook from React Hooks testing library. This will accept our hook that we're trying to test. It will return an object that has a result property, and then we use it just as we had with our own custom setup function. And then if we wanted to pass initial props, then we can do so as one of the options. And then if we wanted to re-render with new props, then we can call that re-render function with the new arguments we want to pass to our custom hook.